Well, the time's arrived for the game against Newcastle. We seem to have been talking about this match now for weeks on end, and it has, as Gareth Southgate predicted, almost a month ago, it's come down to the Newcastle match. It's a winner-takes-all fixture. It's impossible to over-exaggerate the importance of the match. People will say that it's possible that Boro could pick up a point and still get out of trouble, but let's be honest, it's time's run out now. 3 matches left, 9 points available. Middlesbrough need a minimum of 7, I would suggest, probably 9 to get out of it, assuming that teams around them also pick up surprise results. Newcastle away, on paper, it sounds like a tough fixture. We don't win up there very often, although we have drawn up there more often than not recently, certainly under Gareth Southgate. They've got their own troubles, of course. Alan Shearer hasn't had the desired effect. They've just picked up a couple of points under his stewardship. He hasn't had a win yet in charge of his beloved United. And there's much, if not more, pressure on them on Monday night than there will be on Middlesbrough, who go into the match on the back of 10 straight defeats away from home in the league. So let's hope that that's one run that can come to an end on Monday night. A draw's probably not going to be good enough. Although I suppose you could argue it keeps Newcastle down there with Middlesbrough. That's not much of a consolation. Gareth Southgate sounds as though he's trying not to build the match up too much early ahead of the match. I don't think he wants the players to be peaking too soon. Squad-wise, well, we know that Emmanuel Pogatetz is now out for the rest of the season. He hasn't got a chance of featuring. Other than that, it's pretty much the squad that went into the Manchester United game. Whether he'll shake things up remains to be seen, although the Boro were very lightweight in attack against Arsenal and Manchester United. It would seem maybe it's the time to give Alves one last chance to redeem himself after a disappointing second season with Middlesbrough. As I say, it's hard to over-exaggerate the importance of the fixture. It's win or die. Middlesbrough's Premier League status hangs by a thread. They've got to be direct, they've got to be positive, they've got to get at Newcastle, they've got to turn the St James's Park crowd against their own players. They'll be nervous, they'll be tentative, they're not scoring goals either, they're not defending well, they're not a good team. Middlesbrough at least seem to have a little bit more unity off the pitch than Newcastle do. The Joey Barton situation hasn't helped anybody at St James's Park, but it's about what Middlesbrough do on the night, and if Middlesbrough can play the way they did against Liverpool and the way they did against West Ham at home in the Cup, and as they have done on rare occasions this season, all too rare occasions, they can win the match. They've got to believe they can win the match. Gareth Southgate has got to get those players fired up and willing to get at Newcastle from the off. None of this tentative, see how things go approach. We don't want any stupidity, we don't want any straight red cards, but we do want ferocious tackling. We want commitment, and more than that, we want goals. And if we can get that, perhaps, who knows, Middlesbrough can get out of this and survive for another season in the Premier League.